That's tough.
And so I've just been outside running when the weather permits, because I don't know if y'all know about Arkansas weather, but it's super unpredictable. And right now, we've seen
like
a lot
Utah's.
of rain. I think it's just all over like
I
that.
think it is.
Yeah, that seems to be what you hear about every person's weather.
Yeah.
Is it's unpredictable, but...
I really thought it was only the South, but I've learned that it's like that other places too.
Yeah.
Well, we have days where it'll be like in the 70s, and then the next day it snows.
Yeah. What the
just
hell
happened?
is going on?
Yeah. I'm sitting here going, what snow? We don't get that. We get ice.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
So how did your dad's battle with cancer affect you emotionally?
Emotionally, it was tough, but he always told me I never cried in front of him, which I don't cry. Well, I do now, but I don't really cry much in front of people unless I'm very close to them.
Yeah,
but
sure.
There was times where he would talk to me about things, or he would have a bad day, and it just, like, I would start tearing up, and he's like, Kassie, you've got to get it together. Like, I need you to be strong for me, because he said, you're my best friend. You're my rock. You're the one I lean on. Aside from God, like, you're the person I need to be strong. And I'm like, oh, you're putting a lot on me, Dad.
That's a heavy burden. I mean, even just...
It was.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just watching him battle, y'all, he is the toughest person I know. I mean, my mom's tough, but watching my dad battle cancer for a little over 2 years. So he was diagnosed in December of 2015, and he passed away January 14th of 2018, which is my parents' wedding anniversary. He passed away on their anniversary, and literally passed away soon after my mom and him said their last goodbyes. And so that's just, I mean, I told her he was waiting on her to say goodbye. So, and he did. But emotionally, it was tough to watch him go through that. It gave me time to make peace, like with the situation, with God, with myself, because it was great. He was able to do everything he wanted to do as far as like funeral arrangements. He even down to, so y'all know he was a drafting designer, so he drew his headstone on AutoCAD.
Did he?
Exactly how he wanted it.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, but to me, he taught me no matter what, just keep going, because even though he was going through all the treatments and everything, like, he would go to work and the pharmacy would call him and tell him when his chemo was ready, and he would go downstairs to the infusion center, get his chemo, and go back to work. And then when he was going through radiation, he would go do his radiation treatment every day and then go to work. So, you know, he kept going even when he could have just threw his hands up and said, I quit. Like, he pressed on. So, like y'all say, he kept punching.
He's a strong person, it sounds like. How long was his battle with cancer?
It was a little over 2 years. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, with pancreatic cancer, I don't know how much y'all know about it, but it is a rapid growing cancer. It's the most, like, the survival rate is less than 1%. So, it's amazing to me that God blessed us with 2 years. So, and I have to say a thank you to Dr. Jones that did his Whipple procedure, because without that man was definitely a godsend to us, because without that, he wouldn't have survived.
It would have been way faster. Yeah. My mother-in-law actually was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, probably like 8 years ago. And she had the date set for the Whipple procedure. It was a place in Texas that she was going to go to. They ended up not having to do it. We did some alternative treatments and all that kind of stuff. And they were like, they're like, well, if we don't have to do this procedure, that's awesome. And they didn't end up having to, and she actually bounced back. Luckily, it's because they caught it super early, like really early. And we were able to help her. I mean, we did everything. I'm a naturalist, so we kind of went crazy hardcore on her. And emotionally, it's tough. I had a sister that died of cancer. She died of stomach cancer when she was 30. That, like, being a brother, it was hard. And then my dad just passed away last year. it's hard when a parent dies. It is.
It is.
I feel you. Emotionally, those are some scarring that you have to work through, and sometimes you feel like you've gone through it and you're prepared and you're ready for the world, and then there'll be a day where all of a sudden you're like, oh, man, memories come flooding in. You hear a song that they used to like or whatever, and it comes back in, and you have to go through that process again. But
those aftershocks, as as they say, they hit and they're unexpected for sure.
So, do you feel like your dad is still helping you accomplish your goals and dreams, or?
I do. He was always the one that told me I could be anything I wanted to be. I can do anything I want to do. So
that's awesome.
There would be times where I would tell him, Dad, I can't do that. And he would say, Kassie, don't say can't to me.
Yeah.
And so
that's awesome.
I'd be like, I really cannot do it. And he's like, yes, you can. And he would make me do whatever I said I can't do. And he'd say, see?
Your dad sounds like a very old school kind of mentality.
Yeah, just get it done. Yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Well, he kind of had to grow up quick, too. I mean, his dad left his mom at an early age, so he kind of had to step up and play that man of the house.
I wonder if that played a part in them not wanting to get divorced, or your parents, is because his parents did.
I'm not sure. I tried not to really ask him about it. He would just tell me that he missed my mom.
Yeah.
And I didn't really talk to her about it. She said, she told me, because I asked her why they didn't get divorced several times after he passed away, and she said, Kassie, there's conversations that went on that you have no idea about. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to know, because sometimes things are just better left not known.
Sure.
In those kinds of situations to me.
And you want to remain, you want to still have that positive light about your parents and everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because then it helps you for the rest of your life. I mean, really knowing about anything else, other things that they may have done, sometimes that's not the best thing to remember them by. So
exactly.
Well, tell us about some of the dreams that you are pursuing. Like, you're a respiratory therapist, right? And is that where you saw yourself going?
Oh no.
Okay.
I had several things that I wanted to be when I grew up, and still I'm like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. No. Everybody goes, Kassie, you are a grown up, and I'm like, and okay. No, that's definitely not where I thought I was going to be. In school, I wanted to do athletic training. So I was a student athletic trainer all 4 years in high school and absolutely loved it. Sometimes I wish I would have stuck with that because I love sports. I mean, right now it's baseball season and it's not baseball season.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's hurting my heart.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to July because it's coming, hopefully. But no, I didn't. There were several things I wanted to do. One of the things I wanted to do was social work. I wanted to do work at the VA and do counseling for people with PTSD. That was one of the biggest things I wanted to do because I wanted a way to give back. If I wasn't in the service, I wanted a way to give back to veterans. So that was one of the things that I looked into. And then I took a class I took Intro to Social Work. It dragged me down. Like I was like, this is not for me. This is not what I want to do. So respiratory therapy appealed to me because my oldest brother died from SIDS as a baby. And then my middle brother, I guess you would call him, Paul, has asthma, and my nephew has asthma. So with that, watching him as a child not being able to breathe and just wanting to help, and there was no way I could help. I mean, I watched him do updraft treatments and stuff like that, but just absolutely feeling helpless, watching him not be able to breathe. I wanted to be able to help. I wanted a job where I could help people, and this is just where God placed me. And it's a great job. Most people have no clue who we are, what we do. We're a nurse or a doctor to them. But it's completely different from nursing. When stuff hits the fan, we're who they call. I mean, most nurses will tell you that. Be best friends with your respiratory therapist because they will save you a lot.
No, I have to give some credit to a respiratory therapist that helped my dad out before he passed. The hospital that he was at, yeah, they knew their stuff. I mean, we had some stuff we had some complications that went on and all that, and I'm very thankful for you guys that do this.
I appreciate that.
I also think you have a big heart. That's awesome. The fact that you were willing to go into something because not just for the money, not just for, you have this opportunity. It was like you were actually searching for something that you could help people. And we need more people like that in this world. And I commend you for that.
Thank you. Compassion is a big thing to me. And at our hospital, that's what they talk about is compassion. And, there's a lot of people in the medical field, like you said, that are in it for the money, and they lose sight of why we should truly be there. And that's to help people and make them better. And I've had people that I've held their hands and prayed over their loved one or with the patients themselves or with the family when someone's passing. I mean, that to me, that's a big thing. Aside from knowing what to do in emergency situations or how to help people, just being there for people is a big part of it too, and letting them know that we care and we want them to get better and everything. So
yeah, that's great. That's great. So how have things changed then now, like at work with all the COVID-19 cases and things like that? Has your job changed? Do you have a lot of those? I mean, what's it like for you?
For a little while, we had a spike, and so UAMS, University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, is actually like the main one. They're the ones that got the testing center for our state first, and they're the ones that were running the rapid test. We just now, within a week or so, got to where we could run rapid tests at our facility. But they're literally next it up from us. So they get most of the patients, and they got hit the hardest because they had the drive-through clinic, and most people were going to them because they had the testing, and they had quicker access and everything. But we did see a number of them, and I did share on Facebook on a few pages as well as my personal page that we had a gentleman that was able to leave, and I took care of him. And the first night I had him, I literally did not think he was going to make it out of there.
Was he an older man?
He was middle-aged. I think he was maybe in his 50s, early 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But we were actually what we call proning, so we flipped him on his stomach for 18 hours, and then would flip him back on his back for the remainder of the day. And that's a big treatment that's helping people because it keeps all your lung space. It helps you keep all your lung space open versus laying on your back or sitting up. So it helps with, if you've got this jump down in your lungs, it helps bring that up and stuff like that. Sure. So it just helps get air where it needs to be. But
is that something that you learn about in school? Like, did you guys? Yeah, okay. Because I didn't see that at all with my dad. I mean, he had to be put on a ventilator, and then he had to have a trach put in and all that. They never moved him around. I mean, like, it was
the nurses probably turned him side to side.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Sores and stuff, and we don't do that with everybody. If they don't require that as far as their lung healing, then we won't necessarily do that for everyone. It's a case-by-case basis.
Okay, I see, yeah.
So we didn't do that for every single one of our COVID patients.
But this guy, like, you saw him leave, though. Like, he healed. Yeah. He came, that's great.
That's amazing.
I mean, I see miracles every day when I go to work. That's why it's right there in front of your eyes, the work that God's doing. And he's using us. We're just a vessel for him. It was amazing to see him be able to leave because he was so sick. God's in the miracle business, and he heals people. He just uses us to do his work.
Yeah.
So,
what's cool is that you're trusting that process, that your belief and everything is you're putting that trust. That's great. That's a great place to be instead of being in fear when people come in and all that.
Right. Well, it got crazy. Our protocols at work were ever changing, and
sure,
we had a certain floor where we put those patients and everything, which is now turned back into just a regular ICU. So